What are you doing, Timber? Walking some wood? It is, let's see, what is the date? It's the 12th of March. Looks like there's a bunch of snow, but there really isn't. Got some nice views here. Let me switch you around. It's hard to see, but I don't know what mountain or hill that is, but it's got kind of a ledge face on it. Over here in Temple. Just kind of scouting. There's about 700 acres. There may be more on this side of the mountain. It's a pretty rugged ground. There's definitely plenty of wood here. It's just rugged ground. It's not typical. It's not your typical straightforward job. So you've got to do a lot of legwork because you can't just light out and cut this terrain like this like you want to. So you really got to do your homework, or somebody's got to do your homework, and today I'm doing that homework. So because these jobs can be an ass headache if you don't do this, because you keep striking out, you keep setting off into a piece and trying to figure out how you're going to cut it, and you end up wasting so much time. You don't get anything done, no production, you get ugly. So these types of jobs, they're not necessarily fun, but they're not bad either, as long as you do the legwork. So me and the big dog Timber are out here. He's having a blast. He loves this. He says, my name's Timber and I like looking for wood or deer beans. Oh yeah, and I'm doing all that on a Venza. I have a map that Forster made, so I'm putting waypoints and giving them short little names on the waypoints so I can remember. Because I don't know if you guys will be able to tell. This is a good example. It doesn't look steep, and it's not super steep, but it's not flat either. But and it doesn't look as rocky as it is. But out there, the rocks are so big and all over the place. You're not going to be able to put trails straight up and down. And it starts about there and it's up there, so it's only about 75 yards. But in order to get all this wood, you're going to have to get what you can get from the bottom and get what you can get from the top. And that all goes back to that planning. If you're not doing that, then job where it's commercial land base, and they're not going to be satisfied with you saying, oh, I just can't get that wood. You're going to need to make an effort to get it and have a good reason why you can't. And it's not that bad, again, as long as you're doing your homework. So experience. And in this kind of country, these are some of the obstacles that make these jobs hard. Is the last time this land base was cut on was with the cable skidders, and nothing against hand crews, cable skidders, because that's how I started. But right here, this is likely like the best place to put a skid trail. And in this kind of country where it's loaded with rocks like that, you're limited into what you can use for main skid trail options to get the whole piece or to the back of the piece or whatever. And this is a good example of nothing wrong with it. They used the best spot, but they didn't put any water bars in, so this whole thing's washed out now. Water's running down it. Timber likes it, but it makes it really hard to manage. Like, if we're going to use this, it's either got to be super dry, or we have to find another main trail, or get some sort of water bars in it and deal with the water, because you can't have this just won't last. So if we're trying to work here in the spring or fall, these are the obstacles. And this is just the last time this was cut was probably 30 years ago. So there you go. Well, we're working our way to the back. Timber and I. Also, I haven't done any videos in quite some time, put my sunglasses on. It's bright right here. I always forget, you know. You buy mechanical equipment, and I love it. I like what I do. And you kind of sometimes forget why you started. I started off with 2 $600 chainsaws and a $25,000 table skidder. And that's all I ever wanted to do. I loved it. And it's not until I get out here on days like today where it's, I'm sure you could hear, it's pretty windy. And it's been a mild winter. It ended early. Typically right now I wouldn't be in boots right now. I'd have snowshoes on. But to be able to get out here with timber and just, I don't have a lot of pressure of jobs going right now and be able to spend some time out here. And I could probably do it anyways, but I just, you know, you're trying to keep things going and rolling. But I like this. It's great. And you come to a spot like this where I've come out of the hardwoods and I've come into a little more of a softwood stand or regen. And the wind dies off. And you get a little break from the wind and cold. And it's nice. I enjoy it. And, you know, timber, let me switch you around here. Still, any wet hole he can find, he's in it. He's rolling around the snow, digging holes. I love being out here with him. And, you know, reflecting back on the winter, well, you know, I'm going to be goddamn 40 this year. And, you know, it could be worse. I'm probably in a lot better shape than most 40-year-olds my age. I can get out here and hike around the mountains, and I like it. I like the way I feel. You know, reflecting back on the winter here, since now we're kind of, you know, I might show you a little later. Ben's trying to finish up a little forwarding, and we're juggling things around. But in the last year of my 30s, I finally feel like, you know, we're getting some real momentum. Things are going well, or in the right direction. I never would have thought 20 years ago, Cottonwood by Hand, that I would be involved. We didn't produce every stick, but we cut every stick. We were laying wood down for 4 or 5 processors all winter. I've got 2 bunchers now, plus my crew. And it was a tough winter, and we had a couple weeks there where we were, you know, really damn close to getting 100 loads trucked. And if we had had the trucking, or, you know, if you wanted to catch up on it, we would have been well over the 100 loads for those weeks. We still have 100 loads piled up and more in the woods, ready for when posters are down. And I just, you know, I don't take enough time to look back on where I started, you know. Son of a state worker and a school teacher, and here I am. And we should all take a time to appreciate that, and especially the guys that I have. I mean, they should be proud of themselves too, and you can't do anything like this without the guys. So anyway, it's just a short little recap, and I know there was a lot of other things that happened this winter and whatnot, but I just haven't done videos. So who knows? I'm not even going to say I'm going to try and do more, because I always do. So, and this is what timber does on March 12th. It gets in a nice pool of Coors Light, Rocky Mountain water. All right, well, we're back in the truck now. I wouldn't say I have my head wrapped around the whole thing. I've only walked about half of the 700 acres and just did kind of a big loop, top and bottom. There's definitely plenty of wood there. It's just going to be getting the layout right. So definitely needed a lot more miles there. So did about a 3-mile hike. There was some pretty rugged ground there too. So now we're gonna take a ride over and see what Big Ben's doing, how he's finishing up forwarding. So we'll catch you later.